Gemma, hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm great, as
You
usual.
know, it is so wonderful to see you, and I thank you for doing this with me because I have questions to ask you, and I know when I met you I did, but it's different, and I want to share with
Yeah,
all the pet parents of NYP, pet parents, pet lovers. I want to share what you do. And I want to start off with before I introduce you,
hmm
um, what I want to explain how I met you and what
yeah,
happened there, because Reiki is energy, and I would like to explain what went on. So I live in Hong Kong, and you live on a beautiful island off of Hong Kong, kind of remote. You get there by ferry. It is absolutely one of the most stunning places to visit. And you live by the sea and with your cats. And I think, all of us say this is the ideal life, you know, in
yeah,
peace and calmness. So when people think of Hong Kong, they think of high rises and noise. But for what you're doing and where you live is really incredible. So what happened to me in Hong Kong, you know this, but my friends, my NYP friends don't know this. Um, I developed really a lot of pain in my right knee, and I couldn't understand what it was about. And it was getting from bad to worse. And finally, it came to a point I couldn't walk much.
mm,
And I called my sister. She lives in Florida, and I called her up. And I said to her, look, I don't know what's going on here, but I've been going for physio. I'm doing exercises. I'm doing massages, and it's not helping. And my sister said, can you please have someone from Reiki on you? And I said, Reiki? She goes, yes. And, my sister is a Reiki master in Florida. She said, shall I do it for you? And I said, no, no, no. So I hesitated.
hmm
But as the pain was progressing, I thought, okay, let me let me find someone in Hong Kong and let me try this out. And I Googled and I found you. And for some reason, when there's a few, but there was something about you that struck out. And I said, I texted you or I emailed you and I said, Paolo, I know you live, apparently seen from your website, on a remote island, and I live here. I can't come to you. Hello? Who's this friendly little visitor?
This is Huri. This is
Huli.
my housemate.
Oh, your housemate, he or she?
He.
He's
He's got a sister too here living with him. But
so you have a brother and sister.
I have brothers and sisters.
I love that.
They are locals. Actually, when if I just interrupt you, when
Yes,
I
yes.
came here in Lantau in Puyo, where I live in this village for the first time, I visit different houses, places, and then and I came here with my very good friend. She's Korean. She lives here as well, and she's really a cat woman. She follow all the colony cats here around or whatever. So at one point she said, "You know, Paolo, I've got a house for you if you want, because I'm renting it, but." Before my helper was living there, she went back to Philippines for good, and now I'm just renting this house because there are 5 cats in the house, and I don't know where to put them because I already have 12. So I'm renting the place for them. But if you want, you can take a look, and if you like, you can have it and rent it on my behalf. But there are cats, and as I said, yeah.
12 cats?
So,
You're living with. That's incredible. That's
and then
incredible.
and then when I get into the house, I immediately say, okay, this is the place, because I felt it. I don't know. I always been lucky with places where to live. I always have this feeling that when I arrive in a place and I said, okay, this is the place. I have the feeling.
You feel it, right?
Yeah.
You really sense it when you arrive. You know, because the place also invites you.
Yeah.
You know?
You have this kind of energy, vibration that makes you feel, okay, this is the place.
This is the
that
place
I was
that
looking
invites
for.
you.
That was meant to be.
Absolutely.
And then the place came together with the cats and Ari and Uri, so brothers and sisters. They were very small. They were 3 months old. I had them just for fostering because we were waiting for people to adopt them. But it was clear since the beginning that we would only accept adoption of the 2 of them together, and it didn't happen. And then you know how it happens. After a while, they just family, you know.
And just absolutely family. You know, I have 5 doggies. They don't live with me. I live with them. They rule the house. I live with them. And when there was one up for adoption, his brother was also up for adoption, and I said, give me both of them because it's so nice to have the siblings together, and they're inseparable. So I love that you know the brothers are together, or brother and sister. So Paolo, I remember I texted you or I emailed you and I said, you know, Paolo, I know you live far. Can you do me the favor and come to my house and do some Reiki on my knee? Because I don't think I can travel all the way to your island. And you said, sure, when? And you were so, so kind and so easy. And we fixed a date right away because I was getting very concerned because I've had this pain I was having it for 6 solid months, and it was getting progressively worse. And when you arrived at my apartment, I was in my room, and I came out, and usually my dogs bark. I have 5 doggies, like I said, and they bark. So I opened the door, and there you were. They on the floor with them. They were surrounding you, and it was a vision for me. I'd never seen that because normally we put them in the back because we don't know if anyone is scared of pets or nervous, or even the pet gets nervous, you know, and the pet starts barking and all that, and we didn't want to deal. But it was like you were already surrounded. And then I said immediately there was this again, you know, this feeling of that's amazing. And I was lying down on the sofa in my living room, and you performed Reiki on my knee. And I don't know what Reiki is. Well, I didn't know what Reiki was. You did explain it, but today I would love for you to explain it a little more, and now for all of us. And my 2 Yorkies the dogs were surrounding us while you were performing Reiki, and the 2 Yorkies were lying down on my tummy while you were working on my knee. And you were explaining to me that dogs sense it too. They love it. And I was thinking, how does he know that? And I said at the end of the session, Paolo, tell me a little bit about you. How do you know this about pets? And you said, because Nita, I do Reiki on animals. I do Reiki on pets. And I said, Paolo, this is what I'm doing with Nurture Your Pet. Would you consider being part of my tribe? And you know why I asked him that right away? Because I felt a difference in my knee right away. I felt a difference. You went home, and I'm telling you, it has helped by leaps and bounds my knee. It's not the same how it was. It's improved, I would say, 80%. I will need your help again. You have been keeping track of me, and I'm so grateful that you are part of our tribe to help, you know, our animals, our pets, even humans with Reiki. And so that's why I want to say to you how incredible it was meeting you, and how we how we connected, because there's no coincidences in life.
Yeah, no, today you used to, I think you've noticed there was no hesitation in saying yes when you asked me that.
So funny.
Because I also immediately felt that there was a very nice connection when I entered into your house. I really felt everything was very, very lovely. That's why also that helped a lot with your dog as well.
Thank you, Paolo. And so that was it. Now, about you, enough about me. Paolo Gemma, tell me where are you from? Where are you from? Let's talk about you.
Well, I think that from my accent, you can really understand. And I'm Italian. I'm from Italy.
Which part of Italy?
I'm from a small town in the northwest part of Italy, not so far from Milan.
Yes.
It's well, the classic medium-sized Italian city, around 100K inhabitants, something like that. It's most of our small town that size.
Right.
And, it's just in the plain. We are very famous because we grow rice. We have rice fields everywhere around us. So
wow. Italian, yes. For risottos.
Yeah, for risotto.
What kind of rice is it? Arboro rice, they call it?
Oh, we have different rice. We have arborio, we have carnaroli, which I think is the best to make risotto. Then we also make, like rice soup. So we have of rice or whatever. So I'm very experienced in rice. And it's very nice because, from spring to autumn, actually, all around the city is like a sea, like a checkered sea. It's all this, rice fields full of water.
How beautiful. How beautiful.
So, it's a bit like being in Asia. So maybe there's a connection. But eventually, I ended up living most of my adult life here in Asia. But I feel deeply connected. I feel my roots. And I think that I'm getting older. I realized that actually they had a great impact on how I see life, how I express life. And somehow, even if I travel a lot and I live abroad, I still like the way, beside a lot of flows that we have, we Italian are in respect with life. We enjoy life.
Correct.
We are playful. We express a lot.
I know. It's a wonderful country, wonderful people. One of my most favorite cuisines and everything. But what brought you to Hong Kong?
What brought me to Hong Kong? In a word, I would say passion. I mean, passion moved my life entirely. And by the time was passion. In the beginning, it was passion for my job. So I came here. I was, and I'm still have somehow a management advisor. So I was, taking care of companies around the world, set up by Italian companies.
Oh.
And so I arrived in Hong Kong just because the company that I was following in Thailand decided to relocate in South China. And so I started to come in Guangdong more often. And I started to land in Hong Kong instead of Guangzhou. And so I started to like the city. And of course, most of my job then started to be shift to Asia. So first was passion for my job and whatever. Then came love for Hong Kong and love for a woman because I fell in love, and so that would make me stay. Then eventually, business changed. The woman I love left, but my love for Hong Kong is still here. And
wow. So incredible. So from business, like you said, companies, how did you stumble upon Reiki? Where did that shift happen?
Well, there's always been a part of me. I mean, if you believe in astrology, like Western astrology, I'm a Capricorn, so mostly I'm, you know, kind of very logical, practical person. But there's a part of me which is completely the opposite, and somehow I think I need to balance, you know, the business life, the company's life, with actually my emotional life, my personal life, or whatever. And I think somehow Reiki found me. It's not that I was really looking for it, but actually when I stumbled upon it through like-minded friends, actually I felt my soul felt immediately cling to it in a very easy way. You know, I didn't actually ask me a lot of questions, how it was, but how is possible, or you know, I just ran into it, very trustful that okay, I'm gonna need to try, you know, and then I must say that I mean I realized that it was working because really the practice did it, because the feedback I constantly have, even from you, really tell me that it's working. And honestly, I must say I'm very honest with it. Every time I'm very happy about it, but every time I'm always very surprised, but in a good way, you know, because yeah, every time I can't stop remind myself that something so easy, you know, can really work in such a way that could be, you know, seem like magic.
Well, I don't know if it's easy. You studied for it. You had to study for it.
Yeah, you have to study for it, but it's not really something that is very hard to achieve. I think it's just yeah, as I say, you have to walk into it in a very open way and open yourself. Maybe in my case, helped me the fact that I always try to, you know, I study also a lot of other things. I lived in my youthness in India, in Goa, so I studied a lot about Ayurvedic medicine, acupressure, Indian acupressure, meditation, all these kind of things. Even if I must say that I never really feel clinged on them until I found Reiki, which actually Reiki is just something is in the same kind of heritage of Indian prana or Chinese Qi. So is this energy, this life energy that we all have, we all feel, but we can touch and see, and somehow we describe in different way. You know?
Right. So when so how let's say how is it that you are able to help people with Reiki? So let's say for example my knee. What did you do? You placed your hand on my knee and you were breathing deeply. So what goes on with that, Paolo?
So I actually Reiki is actually this life energy that is all around. Normally, you know, you will never hear a Reiki practitioner says, "I'm a healer," and this is maybe one of the main difference with other kind of therapies, is that Reiki practitioner knows that they are not healing anybody. Reiki is a kind of self-therapy. So what Reiki practitioner does is just to act as a channel between the energy that is all around and the recipient. So it's like we have a kind of machine that actually receive and amplify this energy and make it disposal to the recipient. Then is the recipient who actually drawn in the energy. So this is what you actually did. Because I was in a very deep state of consciousness. You were very relaxed. You were open to receive it, and the magic happened, because energies always go wherever is needed. So there's not really anything that we do except the fact that, of course, I have to be there. I have to be focused, and I have to somehow express myself and everybody around and the nature around the will to receive this energy for the recipient, for you.
So what happens, Paulo, is I hear this very often, that the body knows how to heal itself.
Yeah.
And in a way, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when we're talking about holistic, the body knows how to heal itself in a way, up to a certain extent.
Yeah, yeah.
And this energy healing is what you're doing, is you're making a few adjustments, or you're able to channel or facilitate that communication of energy to, you know, to go and to, I guess, you know, help you with certain parts of your body where you have pain. And
Yeah, exactly.
and you know, in my case with you, Paulo, I think my pain was not an injury that I didn't have an injury. I just got up one morning and I was feeling not comfortable with my knee. And it started feeling progressively worse. I couldn't bend it more and more and more, and it was getting worse. I mean, and I started to feel incapacitated with that. And for me, I think it was a blockage, an emotional blockage. So I'm not an expert at all. I don't claim to know about Reiki. But I think what I've heard, and I think what you did for me, was clear, not only bring like the energy to let it flow, but I think you were able to release some blockages. Am I explaining this right? I don't know.
Yeah. It's right. It's correct. It's correct. I actually, while I do it, I don't really have to tell Reiki where to go. I mean, the energy where to go, but I can feel it somehow. I can feel somehow where it's more needed, where the energy is stronger. When I'm there with my thought or with my hand. So in somehow I can also help the energy to stay there and focus on that. So yeah, that's true. And I'm as I say, it's I understand what you say. It was a kind of blockage, because somehow the whole is related. Everything that is physical somehow is related also to
exactly. The whole is related. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like Latin says, mens sana in corpore sano. Healthy mind in healthy bodies is that. Somehow.
Right. Right. So let's say people who don't live in Hong Kong, can you treat them long distance in other countries, and how does that work?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, when actually when we talk about Reiki, we believe that when it comes to work with energy, time and space don't exist.
Yes.
No, and this is why is definitely and successfully be performed from a distance, and there's no problem at all. And this make it safe for the animal, if we are talking about pets as well, people, and for the practitioner as well. I mean, so this is one of the best things, the fact that, especially with animals, I always suggest that either is a home session or a distance session, because it works better, because the animals are in their own environment.
In their own environment.
No, it's not traumatic at all, and
Exactly.
and it works. It's I know that it's hard to believe that, you know, but yeah, but we are talking about energy, and if we think about it, we are even nowadays in our daily life, we are using a lot of invisible energy, like electricity or other.
You're right.
We use our mobile phone. There's nothing that we cannot see or.
You're absolutely
touch,
right.
No.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can say, since I'm Italian, so this year actually is the 150th anniversary of the birth of Guglielmo Marconi, which he was a scientist, inventor, was really one of the genius. So, and actually is considered the father of the radio, and from the radio, television, and all the wireless communication system that we have nowadays. And by the time we were talking about the beginning of the 20th century, actually his theories were like, you know, dismissed like crazy. You know, it's just not possible. How can you talk to somebody else in the other part of the world?
Yeah.
You know, but then it happened. Then then he made this communication from England to US, and I mean thousand kilometers apart, and it was like okay.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We don't stop to think about that because we're so used to seeing a physician, the physician, checking us or even, massaging us or giving us whatever physio, but with the hands or with an equipment, but there is touch. But in this case, what I'm learning now, and now it's not just that I'm learning it, Paolo, thanks to you and my experience with you, which was it really changed my life to be able to bend my knee, because even though you can walk and stuff, our knees are so important. We don't realize it until they hurt, and then you realize, oh my God. So I kiss my knees every morning. I speak to them. I thank you, that you're still there and hanging there for me. But if it wasn't for how I benefited with you, I would never have been this interested in Reiki. I wasn't interested in Reiki. But because of my experience of what you did for me, I started questioning this science and this energy, and learning a bit more, but not to the level. I'm not taking any Reiki courses, but not to the level of expert. But what I really love, and this is one thing I learned, is that energy is everywhere, like you said. And we think our world is three-dimensional, and we can only, whatever we see is what you get, and we use our five senses. But like you said, I don't know if people want to believe it or subscribe, but there is no such thing as time and space. So what was explained to me is, let's say I call you, not me. Let's say someone in the US has a dog, or he or she herself has backache, terrible backache, and needs to be in bed for a while, can get a consultation from you and explain to you, Paolo, this is my problem. Let's say my back is really hurting, or my dog's leg, he's just limping all the time and there must be pain and we're giving him painkillers and injections and whatever. Paulo, can you help me? And so what I learned was the first thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, you put the intention out there.
Yeah.
So of course, I think you first, you get your download, and then your intention alone is so strong. I'm assuming you're visualizing this person with the
Yeah.
backache,
Yeah.
or you're visualizing this dog limping, and you are then sending healing energy in whichever way, because you and I have not experienced long distance yet, but I'll need you long distance. And this is how Reiki has worked long distance for everybody.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and for everyone. And now, because of that concept that I understand, like you said, I'm talking to you right now. I'm sitting in my house, in my small apartment, not my house. You're sitting in your house all the way across. We're not only talking, we're seeing each other. You know? We're seeing
Yeah.
each other. And we're chatting together, and this is there's all these frequencies that get tuned in to get this, like the radio frequencies. And I'm loving this, Paulo. This whole world now has opened up slowly for me. This form of holistic healing, Reiki, is so so huge with humans. It's been talked about to help humans for quite a few years now, and it's increasing. But for animals, it's starting now. And
Yeah.
I think, like I said previously, when people had pets, I think they weren't aware of these modalities of energy healing Reiki for their pets, for their animals.
Mm, mm.
And now that they are, I feel they're happier because they're not pumping their pets with all kinds of things where, you know, the veterinarians are fabulous. They're trying their best. All the veterinarians. I have
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of respect for them, with their surgeries and their whatever, fixing bones and everything. I have a lot of respect for them. But I also believe in adding that other touch to it. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so,
It's true. It's true
absolutely,
because actually, I mean, it's like that. I mean, we don't have to think about Reiki as an alternative to
yes,
veterinary care, not at all.
yes,
They are two different things. But
yes,
Reiki can work very good together with veterinarian cares
yes.
because it can help in a different way. After a surgery, it can help to speed up,
Oh,
the
oh,
healing.
yeah,
It can help to keep the pet calm, to reduce the stress, and this, of course, will automatically, help him to feel better
yeah,
sooner than expected, even during a veterinary treatment, especially if it's quite heavy, if it's suffering for something really, really important, serious. It can help the mind. It can help the soul. It can help to balance the energetic fields in the animal. So it can be a good ally to veterinarian care. Is not something that can be done instead of, because this is not how it works. But
exactly.
also if there's not really um, some disease or something peculiar, actually I found out that Reiki can work on animals, um, because I must say that, mm, mm, you were mentioning before, no, that we know how to heal ourselves, and they know it even more than us. And probably if they were in a very natural environment, free in the wild, maybe they wouldn't need it. But you know, they live with us. They live in our home.
You're right.
They are very sensitive. They can feel everything. If the people that are working, they are living with them, the guardians are not feeling good, they have disease, or they are stressed, or they are mentally unhappy, they feel everything. They're like sponge. They are, you know. And so sometimes, because they love us, somehow they just weigh themselves with all these kind of issues as well. You know, and Reiki is very good in that, in relax. Sometimes I also suggest that maybe it would be nice to make to have a Reiki session, the guardian and the dog and the pet together.
Absolutely.
Because somehow, it can help to recreate a balance, a good balance between them as well. And it works. I mean, most of the time, luckily, most of the time is I'm called more for behavioral issues, emotional issues for pets, and I must say that it's even easier than with humans, because they have another kind of sensitivity. They understand. They are more used to have different level of interaction. So for them, Reiki is something they naturally they can accept it. It's the way that they react after a Reiki session is even faster than human beings.
And they're so pure. And you know, maybe because they don't think too much like we do, you know?
Probably,
they're so pure. But this is you've taught me a lot about that. I liked what you said about pet parents or parents being able to do Reiki together with their pets, because when my doggies were around you, there was such a sense of calmness. And normally, you know, I have two beautiful, beautiful rescues, and they're very nervous around people. So they hide when I have a visitor. They hide, but they didn't hide that day. They were surrounding you. And I think you brought that sense of calmness. And you know, when the parent is also calm, like you said, the pet calms down. So there's this synergy that you create. You know, you reminded me, actually, there will be times, Paulo, where I will need to consult you while you're sitting in your house, and I will have my pets around me, because sometimes I feel I'm normal. I'm a human being. Sometimes I have stressful days, you know, and my doggies sense it. And then I would love to consult you and say, Paulo, we're not having one of those good days, and the doggies are a little bit nervous also. And then we can do that session together, because it really is super, super beneficial for the whole energy of the place, for the whole apartment, and for all of us, because they do absorb your pain. You know, they do. I think so. I really feel that. So so you don't need to be near people. You can do it remotely, which is so important to know, because so many people, which I understand, are still a bit skeptic about, oh no, we live all the way like oceans away. But I think they're coming around to understanding that the intention is huge out there with what, you know, let me give a very simple example about intention. Has it not occurred to all of us so many times where you think of someone, and someone that you don't normally think about a lot, right? You, that morning you wake up and all of a sudden this person pops into your mind, and you move along with your day, and you make a little mental note, oh, I should get in touch with this person and just see. And maybe towards the end of the day, the phone rings and that person either calls you or texts you, go, how many times have we not done that? Oh, I was thinking of you today, but you beat me to it. And how and everyone has that. And that is again the power of intention. And when people talk about coincidences, I've also learned in my experience, no, it's too many coincidences, you know, that I really realize now that it's not only with people, but with things or with problems and how your intention and then the solutions.
No, it's true, it's correct.
So this has opened up a whole new world, and that's why I wanted to start this beautiful ecosystem of Nurture Your Planet, NYP. Nurture your pet and nurture your path. All of it is NYP. We need to also nurture ourselves. We shouldn't forget ourselves. Nurture our planet.
Everything is connected. So
everything is so connected, Paolo. It's really it's so connected, and there's this movement now because we're tired. We're tired with just the medication. You know, you wake up in the morning and you look next to your bed, and there's not only, Paolo, there's not only medication, but there's supplements and supplements and supplements, and you're thinking, really, do I need to, you know, swallow all this? So I like this holistic way of
Actually, you know, it's even if we're talking about supplements, it's very funny because we are living in the what we call, you know, the most civilized part of the world. We are in the biggest economy. We have everything.
Yeah.
We can eat everything nowadays.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like our grandparents or whatever. We can have everything. So we should have the healthiest, the best food in the world, but still we need to take supplements. Doesn't really make sense a lot.
I know.
So it's and it's true. We have to somehow to make a step back and understand maybe what is really worth, and what is really worth is the simple things that we have in life, and the way that we connect to others must somehow change. Come back to what it was. Come back to that. Come back to the fact that it wasn't seen as a coincidence if you think about someone and someone show up.
Right.
It shouldn't have to be dismissed, the fact that first impression is right, because nowadays they say, oh, no, you don't have to rely on first impression. I found out in my life that first impression is always right. Always. Wow. When you meet someone.
Well, when I saw you, that was the first impression. You know, it was amazing. So
and just going back to the Reiki. So I guarantee 100% Reiki works in the same way in distance than in person. Is exactly the same. Yeah. What is really important, as you said, first is from my side is the intention, and my intention is there, no matter if we are nearby or far away. And the other thing is actually the attitude of the recipient. So he must be open. He must be in an environment that makes him feel relaxed, and he must somehow trust the fact that he's going to have something somehow. So this is the most important thing. You had it, so it was good. That's the only thing that is required by the other person, even if it's at distance. And I must also say that there are even people that don't like to have really close contact with the other person. So maybe a distance session is even better. And animals as well. There are maybe pets, dogs and cats that they don't really like to interact very close with other living beings. You know? And especially in the beginning, if they are not used to have somebody who can provide them with this energy, maybe it's even better to be far away
Absolutely.
Or not in person. Normally, even when I do it in person, if I don't know the pet, then I never try to get closer, to reach him, to put it in a place, to touch him. I always stay there. I most of the time at the same height as him, so I just maybe just sit on the floor. I just try to be calm, to express my calm, my being relaxed, by expressing my my loveliest feelings, and then if the pets want to arrive, want to come closer, he will come because you know how they act. They are very straightforward.
That's amazing.
Otherwise, maybe we'll just stay somewhere in his best place or in a place where he can maybe feel safer. But if he really wants, he will receive the energy as well. So there's no wrong or right. But for sure, distance Reikis, I have a lot of evidence that works as well. And we're gonna try with you as well.
Oh, you did it already with me, so I'm already convinced.
Then there are also if it's possible, and if the recipient on the end or the other side wants, I also like to maybe do it in person and being closer. And I think also that hands-on adds something more but different.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with Reiki, but there's this kind of, touch, human touch, this kind of interaction that somehow can help. Maybe can help also a person to be more keen to receive.
Maybe. Absolutely.
But there's no specific
rule. I was very
rule,
comfortable with you. I was so comfortable. You were relaxed. I was relaxed. You placed your hand on my knee. And I think you also moved it to other parts like my legs, my arms. You did on my arms. Because I think what you were doing, what I'm assuming is, you were doing the energy for the whole body. Because, the pain was in the knee, but maybe the blockage is somewhere else, and that's causing the pain in the knee. So, Paolo, what I am going to do is, and to all you nurture your pet parents, and pet lovers, I will list here all Paolo's contact details. So anytime, please contact Paolo for amazing Reiki session. And also, I will prepare, you will see a list for all the common problems that Reiki is so beneficial, because you might not know that Reiki can help you for a certain situation. So Paolo has a beautiful website, and he also has a beautiful blog that I'm going to post. And so you can read his blog on what he explains about Reiki. But I'm also going to make a checklist of all the things that Reiki is good for, common and uncommon, because we know the common things, I guess, pain and stress, but maybe there are uncommon things that we never thought of, and Paulo will know this is helpful for Reiki. So we're going to list those on my website so that you can see that. But
that was very helpful.
Yes,
and any kind of animal. I mean, we are not only talking about cats and dogs.
So here, I wanted to ask you, tell me one of the funniest, not funniest, I wouldn't say funny, but extraordinary experience with Reiki that you've had. Who, like clients that you've had?
The weirdest client I have, and I still have because I'm still close to them, are 3 beautiful Italian chickens. And they are all white with this red crest, and their name are Do Re Mi.
Do Re Mi house, and they're in Italy. And they're in Italy. The three
Yeah.
chickens.
3 chickens. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I've been contacted because you know the guardian. I mean, the lady in charge. She found that last winter, beginning of the winter, they said, "Oh, I don't see them. They are not looking very good. The feathers and the crest is not that red, and I don't know. I don't think they are really." In a good shape, can you do something? And so I did it for the 3 of them, because Reiki you can do it also in group. As I said, you can do it for pet owner and pet, or in a group. So I did it for them, and it was great, because actually after a couple of days she wrote me back saying, you know, they really look better now. Even the crest now is getting redder. And I found 2 eggs as well, which actually is quite strange, because I checked as well, you know, because when she told me about chicken, I say, okay, let's see a bit, let's try to see how they are, how they live, or whatever. And normally in winter time, when it's very cold, they don't lay eggs. Normally, every period they don't lay eggs. But actually, after that, they eggs, not every day, but you know, every odd days, 2, 3 eggs, and yeah, and they were great.
Brilliant. That's with the chickens.
With the chicken, yeah.
You know.
So everything was. I mean, if somebody have a turtle, or you have birds, or golden fish. I mean, if somebody cares about and have a relationship with animals, it can be any kind of animal.
Oh, you know,
I had a very good friend here nearby. For a long time, it was a buffalo. Where I live, there's a lot of white buffaloes here around. So in the ancient time, they were used by farmers, and then they were just, you know, there was no farming anymore. So there's a lot of wild buffalo roaming around, and there is this buffalo is a boy, and is quite big, and they live in herd, but I think he's got something. You want to be the boss, you know? So sometimes he just quarrel with the chief of the herd, and he got hurt. And when he got hurt, and of course he lost the battle, and the chief sent him in exile. So he come here nearby where I live, just downstairs, and he just stayed there few months until he recover, until maybe he can, you know, find a way to make peace. I don't know what is there, but it's there, and is actually I had really interaction with him, you know. So for example, okay, he loves orange and apple. So every time I was passing by, I was just, you know, but like a dog, or or a cat. He's got his name. I was calling him. He was coming by, come to greet me at the end of the day, or when I pass him by. So I mean, we can interact really with any kind of living being.
Paolo, that's wonderful. I know for a fact that, especially in the U.S., not Hong Kong so much because we don't have the space, but in the U.S., the bond between horses and people are huge.
Yeah.
And I know that people who have their horses, and when they have horses that have injuries or aging horses, and horses can get stressful, I know that you can be so beneficial for their horses. That I know for sure. And I'm going to post all this so that everyone can get in touch with you, and you know, and you can explain more about yourself when they get in touch with you, and they can explain the problem and all that, because eventually this is what we want. We want to spread awareness. We want to make a difference and help pet lovers, pet parents, or animal lovers to definitely help them, because that is, I think, we owe it to them. We owe it to nurture them to the best of our ability.
Yeah,
Paolo, thank you so much. Thank you for
oh,
this
you're
time.
welcome.
And
Thank
I
you.
am so thrilled and honored that you're part of our tribe. You're a wonderful gentleman, and your energy is always so wonderful. I just feel talking to you right now, honestly, just chatting with you. I think I got a Reiki session. I don't know. I don't have a problem. I don't have pain, but I feel very calm, very, very calm. So thank you so much. And
Thank
your
you, Nikki.
email address and everything will be posted so that everyone can reach out to you
Yeah, sure.
from
They can reach out. I
wherever
mean,
in the world they are.
you know me, so I'm very open to interact with anyone, to
Yes.
explain,
Yes.
to inform them.
Yes.
You know, every time somebody get in touch with me, I always ask, what do you want to achieve with that? Because it's important. Because
Absolutely.
also, I need to know what the other people expect from Reiki,
Right.
to be sure that I
Yeah.
can match their expectation as well.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
I don't make miracles.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
We'll never do.
Yeah. No, but that is honest and very much appreciated that you know, because sometimes it could be something that is much more serious and where they definitely need to see their veterinarian.
Yeah, yeah.
Or if it's them, that they definitely need to see a physician. You know, it could be quite a serious situation. So yes, I hope everyone.
It's also something that I can help through the end of life of the beloved pets as well.
Very
So
important to know that
it is
transition
also,
when they're getting
I did it, and also there's a lot of people out there as me that they don't accept the idea of euthanasia for pets, and so they want to stay with the pets until the end and make sure that they can just cross this last path in their life in the best way, surrounded by love, trying to have less pain as possible. And of course, medicine, traditional medicine can help, but also Reiki can help. And it
wow.
happens to me, I mean, to animals that there was nothing to do. So it's not that I could heal them because it was their time was coming. And they also maybe wanted to go because it was their time.
That's so important to know.
But the fact that you could somehow make some session and make them feel relaxed and, you know, help them to go away smoothly, I think it's valuable for
That
both the
is
pet and the owner as well.
very, very, very important. Thank you for sharing that because that wasn't something that we all know about Reiki in that transition where it's calming because it's a horrific,
Yeah,
indescribable,
yeah,
painful, not moment, but it can go on for days and hours, and it's indescribable, that pain. So if Reiki alleviates that,
yeah.
that's incredible.
Can alleviate that, and can I dare to say that it can somehow transform this terrible, painful experience in something memorable. Because I think that somehow, maybe in these last days, you can really deepen your bond or creating even a deeper bond with the animal. That is, that, I mean, it's priceless. And you can do that if actually the situation is not so painful, not so stressful for the animal and for the owners as well.
Right.
So because we have to, I always say that in our society we forgot the importance and the value of the suffering. Suffering is something valuable as happiness or whatever we learn from that is part of ourselves as well. It's a process that we are going to, but we are in a society that somehow we hide what we don't like. We hide when people are suffering. We don't want to see them. We don't want to deal with it. Something that is not nice to talk about it. And then our elderly, maybe we put them in some place, some elderly home or whatever, they take care. A long time ago, everybody was having birth and dying in the house, surrounded
and
by
living
family.
in a community. The community was much
Community.
children and the grandchildren. Yes.
Yeah, we were used. People were used to that. Now we are not used anymore.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So everything is so aseptic. So made in the way. And so I think that Reiki, in this case, when we are at the end of life, it can help to put both in a let's say in a graceful state of mind, to accept and learn from what happening.
Absolutely. Paolo, thank you. Thank you for this wonderful chat. Thank you for enlightening all of us with and imparting, awareness, knowledge, your experience, and we are now more familiar thanks to you with Reiki. And everyone, give it a shot, give it a try. It's worth it. Get in touch with Paolo, and you never know. It's nothing that you have to swallow or take, and believe. It does help. Thank you, Paolo. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nira. It's been lovely. As usual,
you.
Talking with you is always lovely.
Thank you. Thank you. Paolo, have a wonderful evening. Enjoy all your cats. Enjoy your wonderful space, your island, and be happy, be healthy.
You too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.